Hello everyone, this is Stefan from Lush and Salty Aquariums. How are we doing? I just had to film this menagerie of beautiful adult full red cherry shrimp just going nuts in this tank. I always knew there were a lot, but sometimes you just don't see them or you just don't get a sense of it on any given moment. But for whatever reason, the full Monty, there's got to be 50 quality adults, mostly full red, some Bloody Mary. I don't level or grade my shrimp, but I could see some higher end ones. And of course, more, hybridized versions. There's a gorgeous female, looks like she's buried, which is what we call pregnant, right there. And she probably sired, although I think only males can sire, but you get the gist of it. She's probably responsible for quite a few of these younger adults. Now there's one that has white markings, which would reduce its quality if you were grading or showing these things. And people do that, but I don't. Um, I have other tanks with just this many, if not more. So gosh, if you're in the Bay Area, I'd be happy to give you a group. You could almost think of anything as a trade, and I would take it. These can cost more than a few bucks at the pet store, but I mean, I'll give you 10 for a plant, right? But they are fun to look at. They look like Christmas ornaments against the Anubias petite. That green plant there has a sort of mulberry effect. That's what I was thinking of. In Christmas time, you see the winter green with those red berries and the snow in the background. So here in a natural setting, kind of a Christmas vibe. Totally not winter or even relevant, but it looks like that. The colors are so striking. People love cherry shrimp, the neocardina, because of that bold red color. It's almost a saltwater type of color, but in a freshwater creature. Obviously, they're invertebrates, the shrimp, and this species are the easiest by far, in my opinion, to keep. Easier even than the Amano shrimp, and certainly any of the other color varieties, of which I do have some yellow, some black, and maybe a few oddballs in other tanks, but pretty much it always comes down to the cherry shrimp. They're the ones that reproduce. They love the tannins. They can tolerate warm water, which I generally keep for my tanks because the nano heaters are set for 78. And for whatever reason, you add lights, you add the fact that they're next to other tanks, and you just get a warm water experience. So the other fish in here, for what it's worth, there's about 5 green neons. I would catch them out if I could, but I've tried, and it just would rupture this tank to be digging around soon. And then you see there's a pair of these tiger teddies, which are a wild live bear and fairly rare. I got them from Because You're Fish, and I'm waiting for either the female to drop, and God, I can imagine how small those fry would be and how quickly some of these big shrimp would devour them. So if she has dropped fry, I'm sure they have been devoured, unfortunately. But there's nothing I can do about that other than remove the tiger teddies or hope that a few fry can survive in the roughage. So if Because Your Fish is watching, you tell me if I even have a prayer with this kind of colony. Now I feed them algae wafers, and they will eat pretty much anything. When I feed the tank, they'll come up to the top and basically ride along the edge of the water on the friction and just pull the little particles into their mouth. And obviously they eat some algae, and they love to work up and down the guppy grass here and feathering along these leaves there. I have minimal algae, and now you know the reason why. A shit ton of cherry shrimp. So here's a wider shot of this lovely little tank. Honestly, I was thinking of redoing it, but when I look at how the piece of driftwood and that's $200, if not more, of a Nubius Petite if you tried to buy that in little buckets. But look at that, it's intense. It's softball size, like a coral. It's like one of my corals in another tank. And this is only a 5-gallon tank, folks. I've got the palm you see growing out. Forgive the other noise, I have family, but I had to film this and I couldn't tell them to be quiet, not with Netflix on. Anyway, this is my Netflix. I hope you enjoy it. Always keep your hands in the tank. Ciao for now.